Good evening. At the outset, I thank Rao for giving me the opportunity to talk on geriatric cancer. Cancers are the big problem in India also, like the West. We are also becoming older and older. The cancer incidence is increasing in India. Since morning already you have heard about the introduction and definitions of the geriatric. I don't cover much on that. Physiology of aging, I am going to give a brief introduction. Comprehensive geriatric assessment. It is very important in the oncological management. Then how we are going to approach this older patient, what are the factors we consider into it, and then adherence to the therapy is most important. It is going to give an impact in the outcome of all the things. And then we have done some studies optimizing the therapy in elderly, and then ultimately it is conclusion. Already Gopinath has told this slide about the definition of geriatrics. I don't take much time on this. What is a geriatric oncology? Oncology is implementing the geriatric principle to manage older patient with cancer. 60% of the cancer is in greater than 65 years of age. 70% of cancer mortality is in people greater than 65 years. This number is still true for our population also. What are the goals in the treatment of geriatric patient? Cure, prolongation survival, prolongation of active life expectancy, effective symptom management, and at last, when we cannot do anything, we should not harm any individual. Is the patient is going to die of the cancer or is going to live with cancer? Is the patient is going to live long enough to see consequences of the cancer? Is the patient is able to tolerate the treatment, or their complications of the treatment much more than the older age problems? Is this social network is enough to take care of the cancer patient who are really elder? All these things has to be addressed before taking any decision on managing the cancer patient who are really older. So the population in India is increasing, and then the age population is also going to increase. I think by 2030, whatever the population we have got is less than 5%, it is going to become around 2050, it is almost 3 to 4 times what it is expected, and then the number of cancer is also going to increase, then cancer deaths are also going to increase in our country. Then we have to take a proper measures to control this disease and treat the elderly cancer patients. In our country, other than this aging problem, we have also got lot of low socioeconomic status problems, and then social isolation. Still in the villages and even some families, they isolate the cancer patients. It's still a big problem. This is the cancer incidence, which is what we got it from Bangalore Cancer Registry. The cancer incidence is more in the age group of 55 to 59 years, and then females are more in the 55 to 15 and 59 years, and then as it is advances, age advances, the cancer incidence is come down. Then number of cancers in the 70 are less. This is also documented in our cancer registry, what it is shown in this figure also. The cancer deaths are increasing, and then the death rate, it is around 4.5% in the 65 to 69 years, and it is 60 to 64 is 3.5. This is in male, and female also it is increasing as the age advances. The people who are living more than 75 years, there the cancer death rate increases by double it when compared to the younger patients. What is the physiology of aging? What it will have on our system? There is increase in the body fat. Definitely fat is a curse. When it is excess, it is going to produce lot of hormones, which in turn increases the risk for various cancers like breast cancer in female, endometrial cancer, and male prostate cancer, and then there is also increase in incidence of ovarian cancer. and then there is decrease in the muscle mass, there is a hormonal disbalance. This hormones plays a key role in various malignancies like breast cancer, endometrial cancer, in male prostate cancer. There is a decrease in the hepatic function and renal function. Whenever we use any treatment for the patients, there most of the drugs are going to be metabolized and excreted in the kidney. So as the age advances, their function also come down, and then there will be a optimum therapy cannot be given, and then they will have a lot of complications and problem. There is decrease in the brain tissue also and neurotransmitters. This is responsible neurocognitive functions, memory, and then the physiological activity. This is physiological activity plays a key role in the cancer treatment. If it is get affected, definitely in the geriatric scale assessment, it is going to give you a 1 score, and then there we are going to decline the treatment, and then their outcome also differs. Whenever there is a aging problem occurs, there is a decrease in the GI motility, then there is impaired in the absorption, and then most of the people will have loss of sweat. Why cancer is more in elderly people? Telomerase is an enzyme which is responsible for DNA repair, that is going to get shortened, and there will be a DNA repair mechanism get affected. Age related alterations in the immune system, when immune surveillance, then accumulation of random geriatric genetic mutation leading to oncogenic activation, which is responsible for most of the cancers. Amplification or decrease in the tumor suppressor genes, which regulates our homeostasis or immune system. Then as we are going to live long, the lifetime exposure to the carcinogens increases, that in turn increases the cancer risk. And then as I told you, hormonal alteration, this increase or decrease hormonal alteration is going to lead into carcinogens of various malignancy. We cannot take the geriatric patient like the young adults or pediatric patient. We have to have a different assessment scale, what we call it as geriatric assessment. It is called as a comprehensive geriatric assessment. In this, we are going to have multidisciplinary approach will be made for older people, and we are going to explain all the problems, and then we are going to consider their various comorbidities, and then we are going to take their activities, and then all these things will be taken in geriatric comprehensive scale assessment. But geriatric assessment scale conducted by oncology may not have the same traditional goal in the outcome when compared to the other geriatric assessment. SIOG and NCCN has recommended a geriatric assessment to be used to help select the best cancer treatment in an older patient with cancer. This is the conventional performance status way we adapt to treat the cancer patients, but this is not going to make a much benefit in the elderly patient. If you apply this, we have to modify the doses in various levels, as their physiological system is different from that of the younger patients, in elderly patients. So NCCN has given a guideline to risk assessment. In this, they have included comorbidities like cardiovascular, renal, neuropathy, anemia, osteoporosis, GI problems, diabetes, lung functions, and then various geriatric syndromes like functional dependency, that is mobility, falls, dementia, delirium, depression, and then nutritional status and other socio-economic status also taken and into consideration. In this, if there are any problems are there, if they are having a high risk, these patients will be treated with a symptom management. They are not going to be given a standard chemotherapy or radiotherapy. They may not be subjected to the treatment. Functional assessment is most important in the management of cancer, especially their daily activity has to be taken into account, because adequate diet and then it is very important. If they are malnourished, if their intake is less, we may not give a optimum dose, and then they have to recover very fast. Once you give chemotherapy, they should not develop any nutritional problems.
Dr. Lakshmi, I've got 2 minutes more, please.
Yes, madam. Then we have to integrate all this into this program, and then we have to, for this the various studies have been taken, and then in this they have found out there is functional assessment of the nutrition, then malnutrition, they are the independent prognostic factor apart from the treatment aspect. How you are going to approach the older adult patients? Assess if they are good shape, go ahead with the standard treatment. If they are vulnerable, intervene and treat it. If they are frail, give a supported treatment. These various problems are also occurs in old age, that is absorption, distribution, metabolism of the drugs, which will play a key role. And then these are can be controllable and then which can be treated. And then there is a polypharmacy is one of the biggest problem. We have done a one condition in 100 patient analysis, and it is said that out of 17 patients, 8 will be on polypharmacy, and then it is going to affect the problem. It is chemotherapy. The true problem is renal function test and drug interactions. As the age advances, the renal function will decrease, creatinine clearances will goes on decreasing as the age advances. So prior to drug therapy, elderly patients cancer assessment, optimizing hydration status, evaluation of the renal function, established need the adjustment of treatment. However, in extremes, there other factors will also play a key role in this obesity, cachexia, and then this will lead to decrease in renal function test, and then they will have a different outcome. We have to have a different formula to calculate the renal function test and treat these patients. See, we have to, when you design a clinical trial or treat the patient, we should have a survival. If this patient is going to die of the cancer or live with the cancer, if the complications are more, then what is the response? How they are going to live long? Is the time to symptom free? And then in all these things, dementia has to be taken into one of the important prognostic factor in the management of cancer. This is the history of cancer treatment in older patients. We have got non-Hodgkin lymphoma, B-cell, we are going to give single agent ibrutinib, follicular lymphoma, bendamustine rituximab, follicular lymphoma, bendamustine. These are the modifications is done for the treatment in elderly patients. And then in non-Hodgkin lymphoma, if we are elderly, we are going to give or mini-CHOP, where we are not going to give full dose. So breast cancer in elderly patient, they can be get away with bisphosphonates and hormone therapy. There is no need to give any radiotherapy or chemotherapy in elderly patients. And then various hormone therapies like letrozole, fulvestrant or fulvestrant but anastrozole can be used. Endocrine therapy sequencing makes a difference, and it is to be continued. If they don't respond to this, then we can go ahead with the mTOR inhibitors. So if you treat a cancer patient, they are going to live out of, with the treatment, chemotherapy, 1 out of 100 patients is going to alive because of the therapy, 7 out of 100 patients are going to alive because of the combined modality of treatment. So combined modality of treatment plays a key role in the management. Breast cancer, adjuvant therapy, similar benefits but increased mortality. Above age 70 years, only lumpectomy with hormone therapy is enough. No need to give radiotherapy. 3 and 4, MRM with CT plus RT. Hormone therapy be depending on the ERPR status. Colorectal cancer, surgery can be done. There is no contraindication. Adjuvant therapy may be given, but it has its low toxicity is very much high. And then cetuximab can be used, but bevacizumab it has its own toxicity, high toxicity profile. NACLC surgery can be possible in elderly people, but in a frail patient it is not possible. Adjuvant treatment may not have any benefit. Target therapy definitely makes a difference, and bevacizumab should be used with caution in elderly patient. AML, we cannot use the standard chemotherapy with anthracycline with Ara-C, but instead of that we can use decitabine and Ara-C, where it has got a similar results like that of the standard treatment what we give. We have to assess the toxicity profile as per the international scale, but it is different for the elderly patient when compared to the CTCA. So we have to assess the peripheral neuropathy, and then by hand grip, and then we have to ask them to walk, and then by this we can make the different. So surgery, age is not.
Doctor, your time is up, please.
Okay, madam. Geriatric oncology is a subspecialty, its own, with increasing burden of cancer in elderly. Since the biological characters of the elderly as well as cancer manifestations are different, an individualized approach, including a comprehensive geriatric assessment, would be optimized treatment in this special group. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lakshmiya. Indeed, it was a very vast presentation of, especially geriatric cancer is a chapter by itself, and the time given to you was very limited, but with all that you did do justice. I just wanted to ask you, for the sake of the audience, what is the expansion of the guidelines that you named as NCCN guidelines?
Comprehensive guidelines for network guidelines for cancer care.
Yeah, because you said that they're going to be treated on symptomatic treatment and not advocating any other thing. I'm sure for the audience it will go through saying there are alternatives left for them to go about your guidelines taken into consideration.
National comprehensive guideline for cancer care.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor, once again for sharing your time with us this evening. Let's give him a big round of applause.